Hello, my name is Lauren, and I have bipolar disorder. I was diagnosed with type 2 bipolar disorder in 2009. So first of all, I want to talk about my symptoms of hypomania. For me, my hypomania expresses itself with a bit of delusion of grandeur. What I mean by that is that I have this sense of being better than everybody else, that I can accomplish anything I set my mind to. I almost feel like I'm superhuman. And I know, that's not really true, but at the time, that's how I feel. And that's also accompanied with this sort of clash of irritability and a short temper. Another thing that I experienced during my hypomanic states is this sort of obsession about new things. And what I mean is I will become obsessed with changing my career path entirely. So I'm trained, I have a master's degree in virology. I'll get these ideas when I'm having a hypomanic episode that I want to become a nurse. And that is sort of related, but you really have to go back to school and get all new schooling and pay all this tuition and really dedicate yourself for years to this new career, not to mention that afterwards you are going to have this new career. And I will just decide, on a snap decision that I'm going to do this. And I will start doing it within a matter of maybe a day of thinking about it and start getting stuff together. Oh, I'm going to be a nurse. I start getting all my, transcripts together and everything. Every time that I have a hypomanic episode, it seems, I get a new idea. I change it up a lot. And it never lasts. It never sticks. Once I'm done with the hypomanic episode, I don't want to do that thing anymore. So I'm kind of glad that my husband's around to sort of temper that and tell me, no, you don't really want to do this. We're not doing this now. We'll think about it, give it a few weeks. And he's always right. Another thing that I do is I sort of engage in risk-taking behavior. I have a history of it. And for me, that mainly manifests as excessive spending. And by that, I don't mean a pair of Manolos. I mean, I have bought tens of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise within a month, which is so bad that I'm just beyond embarrassed about it. And I would never have done it if I weren't manic. I would never have done it. I would not do it now. It's just completely irresponsible. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the symptoms that I exhibit whenever I'm having a depressive episode. And it's pretty typical as far as depression goes. For me, I wouldn't say that I experience this sort of persistent sadness. It's more of a lowered mood state. I feel worthless, I'll feel hopeless, I'll have this sense of pointlessness in everything that I'm doing. I lack all motivation. I don't want to go to bed at night because I don't want to face the next day. I don't want to wake up in the morning because I don't want to face the new day, so I'll sleep just forever. I won't get up. And I have this sense of lack of direction, and I'll pull away from my friends, and I won't engage in activities that I used to love. And when it gets really bad, sometimes I'll have suicidal ideation, which I've been hospitalized for 3 times, and which I will talk about in more detail in another video. And sometimes I have engaged a few times in self-harm, which is manifested as cutting on my arms. And I did not do it, despite what many may think, for attention. What I did it for was as a release for the guilt and the stress and the suffering I was feeling as a burden to my family. And when that happens, I will seek medical attention, which everybody should, and oftentimes that will lead to my hospitalization. So I want to touch a little bit on the negative things that have happened to me because of my bipolar disorder. Really, the biggest area that's been impacted is my career. I have found that I cannot keep a career in research science, and that is because that area of work really is very stressful, and more than a lot of other jobs, because every day depends on the day before's results. You can hardly plan more than a week ahead. The money is hard to find, and there's always deadlines attached to it. And the jobs that I've been able to get with just a master's degree tend to be assistant jobs, so I'm not working on ideal projects that I would really like to be working on. So it's been difficult for me to keep those sorts of jobs. And I don't think I want to pursue that sort of job simply because of my bipolar disorder and how I'm affected by it. Because bipolar disorder is a stress-triggered disorder, and the stress can trigger episodes, and it has in the past for me. So I'm now looking for a job that's a little more low-key, has a very predictable schedule where I'm doing sort of repeated work, rote work. I know what's going to happen pretty much every day, that sort of a thing, which is sort of really different from what I'm used to and what I've been trained to do. I went from seeking a PhD at an Ivy League school, collaborating with some very high-profile clients, to now looking for a desk job, basically. That's not even related to science. But I would rather that be the case and me be healthy than me be having bipolar episodes. So my goal is really to help educate the public about bipolar disorder and about how it's a real problem for many Americans, millions in fact, and to let those of you who have bipolar disorder know that you're not alone in a lot of these feelings and thoughts. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you again soon.